channel, Fabrizio Romano here as always to keep you posted on the transfer market. Today guys, many things to say, especially to clarify on the transfer window, and so let's jump into it. Yeah, we also have a here we go, because Liverpool have reached an agreement in principle, a verbal agreement, waiting on all the documents in the next days, for Hugo Ekitike, the French striker. You remember the exclusive story at the beginning of this crazy week for strikers on the market. I told you, Liverpool will try for Alexander Isak, direct contact with Newcastle. If they can't get Isak, it was in the same update, in the same video, you can find it here on the channel. If they can't sign Isak, they will go for Hugo Ekitike. And here they are, agreement done for Ekitike, for a deal that can touch 95 million euros with add-ons included. But let me clarify that realistic add-ons bring the deal to 90 million euros, difficult add-ons bring eventually the deal to 95 million euros. So the deal is 80 plus 10 with plus 5 complicated. This is the deal between Liverpool and the Eintracht for Hugo Ekitike. So this is the agreement, this is almost done, just waiting on the formal steps now to follow, but as I mentioned, the agreement is okay. What's important to mention also is that Hugo Ekitike wanted to go to Liverpool in a very strong and clear way, because he had the opportunity to go to Newcastle. He had several other clubs interested in him, but 6-year contract at Liverpool, his only priority for this transfer window. And I touch on this point, guys, to clarify something also on Manchester United, and to touch also on Victor Gyökeres. Because on Victor Gyökeres today, from Portugal, from very important outlets in Portugal, basically all of them, from Record to Abola, SIC, Noticias, and all the others, they are reporting that Manchester United have been working in the recent days on a deal for Victor Gyökeres, on an hijack for Victor Gyökeres. And I wanted to touch on Ekitike to explain you something, guys. I came here earlier this week and I told you, Man United will sign an important striker this summer. They want to sign a striker, they want to go for a striker, and they will sign a striker in this summer. Now that Cunha is done, Mbeumo is done, for them the focus is the striker. So, Manchester United made this very clear internally, and many agents in the market are aware about that. So what happened? For example, for Hugo Ekitike, someone internally at Eintracht expected Manchester United to try enter the race for Ekitike when the deal collapsed with Newcastle. Man United were calling to be informed on the situation with Ekitike, then the player decided to go to Liverpool and there was no chance to enter into the deal. But when a club like Man United, a big club, is entering the market for a striker, many agents and intermediaries are obviously attentive to the situation. And so, for Ekitike, Eintracht expected Man United to join the race, but was not even possible because the player wanted to go to Liverpool. What about Gyökeres? I'm not aware of an official bid from Manchester United. I'm not aware of club-to-club talks from Manchester United. I'm aware of intermediaries trying to suggest that possibility via Sporting. Already with Saudi clubs a few weeks ago, Sporting tried to present the opportunity to Gyökeres to go to Saudi, and the player said, no thanks, Arsenal. Then, for Sporting, the opportunity to do business with Manchester United for Gyökeres, maybe for them to enter into the deal, seeing that this add-ons structure was still being negotiated with Arsenal. But the answer from player side, guys, despite intermediaries suggesting the opportunity for Man United to enter into the deal for Victor Gyökeres and to hijack it, and this is why we have these stories, it's not because of a bid, it's not because of club-to-club talks, it's because some intermediaries have been working on this possibility to present to Manchester United, but it was not even possible to advance as of today, guys. Then in the market we never know. But as of today, it's very clear that Victor Gyökeres says Arsenal. Victor Gyökeres wants to go to Arsenal. Victor Gyökeres is only convinced about Arsenal project. He already gave them priority in June. He agreed personal terms with them 2 weeks ago, and he wants to go to Arsenal. That's very clear. The player, but also his agent, Hasan Çetinkaya, same position as the player. He's not directly dealing with Manchester United. This is not the case, or with Saudi clubs. Work in progress with Arsenal. This is the focus for Victor Gyökeres. So, absolute focus on Arsenal deal for the Swedish striker, who is not talking to any other club. It's via intermediaries that there are these opportunities, but as I mentioned, Man United will sign a striker. For Ekitike, it was not possible to proceed. Eintracht tried to open that possibility, but the player wanted to go to Liverpool. For Manchester United, Sporting and intermediaries expecting that opportunity for United, but they didn't even bid because the player wants to go to Arsenal. Let's see what United will do, because for sure a striker remains a priority for them. I told you earlier in the week that Nicholas Jackson is an option. They are aware about the situation for Nicolas Jackson. At the moment, I'm not aware of talks ongoing with Chelsea, so I'm not aware about that. But from what I'm told, Man United are informed about the situation of Nicolas Jackson. They know that the player is not untouchable at Chelsea, and so they are aware of the eventual conditions for his exit this summer. While at Chelsea, there is still an appreciation for Alejandro Garnacho, for example, so maybe that could be a scenario, but at the moment it's not a negotiation. At the moment, no club-to-club talks about that, so still early. But Man United are expected to go for a striker, and so this is why now you will see many links. For example, one of the names being mentioned internally in the recent weeks is also Benjamin Sesko, another player who is well known at Manchester United. But also in this case, guys, before entering into concrete discussions, negotiations, we have to wait and see what's going to happen internally at Man United in terms also of outgoings. I told you how important it will be for Man United to let some players go, to help financially. Rashford is going to Barcelona, but then there is Sancho, there is Anthony, there is all the rest, also including Alejandro Garnacho, and so that's going to be really, really important. On Manchester United, guys, let me mention also another name.